Welcome back, everybody. Today I got this 19, I guess it was made in 1970, 71. It is the Hot Wheels Redline Spoilers Series Nitty Gritty Kitty. Forgive the birds. Some kid has painted it, painted a stripe down it, and I was trying to see, because I know it was blue. You can see the blue here and the blue here. I was trying to see if it had a black top, because it's kind of a rare version of the Nitty Gritty Kitty. It has the black top. I don't know if you can see that or not. The top is bent down a little bit, and just a little bit though, not too much. I can probably straighten that out with no problem. You see the A-pillar's bent there. I have to be careful not to break it. I've already got this car drilled apart, so we can take it apart. I've also drilled and tapped the posts and the motor, as you can see right there. And you can tell that car was blue originally, but the rare version has a black top. So we're going to go back blue, and I'll probably paint the top black. The base, the wheels, the wheels are in fair condition. A little paint on the base, so I'll probably pull the axles off, dip it in the stripper, get it cleaned up and polished up. The windshield is painted heavily. And clean this up, probably just brush it with the wire wheel and polish it, call it a day. Maybe slap some paint on the tail lights. I'll do some research and see if they were painted or not. So let's get the motor out of this thing. I've already drilled and tapped it. As you can see, the motor is just absolutely caked with gray paint. So I'm gonna soak it separate. It's like the motor was actually loose. It just was held in with the paint when I got it. I ordered it off of eBay. But you see there's yellow paint underneath the motor, and there's gray paint. If you look right here, there's green paint, then the red paint. So honestly, I don't know what this guy was doing. He was having himself a good old time with the paint. And drop that in the paint stripper, pop these wheels off, dip this in the paint stripper and scrub this paint off of it, wire wheel it and polish it, get it cleaned up, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I got the base all cleaned up, looks really good. I washed the axles and everything. The interior come out good. Paint that was on the back came off. I didn't break it, but you see right here there was a ding. I straightened it out, but it was already a mark there, so it's going to be there. And the windshield, this is a different one, but it's made the same way as the other one, so I assume it came out of a car similar to that one. Looks like an American version, since it's almost clear. It's kind of a smoke color, but this one is broke. The other one, when I was cleaning it, when I was trying to fish it out of the bowl of soapy water, excuse my nails, I guess I pressed down on it right there, and it was so brittle it snapped in half. So I'm going to try and glue it back together, because it looks like all that paint's going to come off of it. I'm still working on a little piece that's right down in a groove right there. It's still soaking. But we'll try and glue it back together. If that don't work, then I'll just get a new one. The motor turned out pretty good. I cleaned it up with a brass bristle brush. Say that fast 3 times. So it's ready to go. And then the body, I got it all cleaned up with a wire brush. I haven't straightened the top out yet. I wanted to show you so you know I didn't do it. That's why the top is bent. It's that big old gouge right there. Somebody hit it with something, that's how it got bent. So a good thing we're going to paint the top black, plus it's got a bunch of little pits in it. Has a little mark right here. I don't know if that's a factory defect or if it was hit with something. Maybe it got run over in the yard with a lawnmower. Who knows? You see the little pits along the back end right there. I'm going to leave them because if I try to sand it down, it ain't going to fit right. So I'm just going to polish it up, straighten out the top, probably get some spot putty and putty that up so that when I paint it black, you won't see it at all. So next, let's get this top straightened out. All right, we got it straightened out. I stuck one of the ends of a pair of pliers in there and pried up on the lid a little bit. It's still got a little curve to it. It looks better than it did. And I straightened out the A-pillar pretty good. How's it look? Looks pretty good. Maybe knock it in a hair more. Next, I'm going to finish sanding this top and put some spot putty in there. Make it look good. So let me do that real quick. Okay, I decided to do a voiceover because the birds were getting too loud and people kept interrupting me. Here, as you see, we're putting on new wheels, or shoes as some people like to say. Putting the large on the back and medium on the front. That's what Bright Vision's little chart says are supposed to go on this car. That's where I got these wheels from, was brightvision.com. And there we use our tool, our adjustment tool, to make sure we get the wheels all the way on the bearing. As you can see, we've got this here base all polished up, looking nice. I still have to paint the tail lights and the grille. Now we were trying to use this replacement windshield. I accidentally broke the original one, which was painted up pretty bad, but it came out pretty clean. When I took it out of the soapy water, it just snapped in half. This replacement doesn't seem to want to fit right. The back posts, as you see, don't go into the interior like they're supposed to. I end up super gluing this into the car just to hold it in right place. Now we're going to polish up this top a little bit where we had that gash. Trying to make it look good as possible so that when we paint the top black, you won't be able to see it. And I think we do a pretty good job, you'll see in the end. Next, we'll probably polish the body. I'm going to use some Mother's polish. It doesn't look too bad. It's filled in all the way. Yeah, we're going to use some Mother's polish here. We're going to polish the sides, the trunk, and the front end. There was a little pit on one of the fenders, I think it was a manufacturer's defect, so I just left it alone. Yeah, we're just going to polish this up nice and shiny so that it looks good when we paint it. We're going to paint the body blue on this one, and we're going to paint the top black. It was originally blue. I don't know if the top was ever black, because you saw it in the beginning. It was pretty bad. I think it turned out pretty good. We're going to degrease this sucker and get the paint in here. Okay, after we've got it washed with soapy water and degreased, we're going to wipe it with some acetone to make sure we get all our fingerprints off, because the oil from your fingers can cause the paint not to stick. See, there's the little dimple in the fender. I think that was a manufacturer's defect. We're going to use this blue from the Red Line shop. This is Spectraflame blue. I'm mixing a little clear coat in with my paint. It helps it go a little further, and it hardens it up really well. It's urethane paint and it's urethane clear coat, so it should be good to go. I put about the same amount of each clear coat and paint, and then I add probably about 20 drops of hardener. I'm going to stir this up real good. Make sure we get it all mixed together. It helps the paint go further, and it hardens it up really nice. I had a problem with this car before. When I painted it the first time, I taped it off to do the top, and I didn't add clear to it. I just added hardener. And there you see the windshield broke in half in this picture. I was really upset about that. But anyway, I added the clear to it, and once I painted it with the clear, you can tape it up all day long and it doesn't peel. Sorry about the camera work here. I'm zoomed in too close, I think. Okay, now we're going to use flat black, as you'll see here in a minute. Okay, yeah, we're using Rust-Oleum flat black. Okay, I'm going to use this here easy release tape that I got from Walmart. This is how I taped it up. Make sure you tape the inside of the car or the paint will go through and end up on one of your other surfaces. Okay, now we're going to go over this with the flat black, but as you see here, for whatever reason, it looks shiny. And it doesn't go away. And you'll see in a minute what I'm talking about. But it is covering that spot really well. I'm pleased with that. When the paint peeled the first time, I had to, see, it dried shiny. I don't understand why it dried shiny like that. It should have been flat. So we're going to repaint that. But when I had to repaint it when the paint peeled earlier, when I took the tape off of it, it does say flat black. When I stripped it back down, and here you see after the paint, it's nice and flat. It's awesome. But anyway, the body filler came out when I stripped it back down. Sorry, I'm talking in circles here today. But it does look pretty damn good. You can't even tell that it had that gash in the roof now. Doesn't even look like the same car. But you see the ding in the fender. It's not as noticeable once it's painted, but it's there. You see it down there on the bottom. Driver's side fender. Okay, now we're going to put these decals on. These decals came from the Redline shop. They're not really decals, they're not water slides, they're actual stickers. So I guess it's what came with the car originally. So if you want original look, you use the stickers. Next time I'll probably use a decal. I bought a few of these for some other cars I got, so they'll get them. But after that, I'll probably use decals. They were really easy to apply. Stuck on well. And they look pretty doggone good, in my opinion. See? Nice and pretty. Okay. Getting that dust off the top. I'm going to put this here on the trunk. Line it up because it's supposed to go to the side. I'm probably a little too far to the middle. That's okay. I like it that way. And it's all about what you like, right? Kind of tuck that in the window there. Then we're going to put the top on. And the top isn't like the trunk is a little long. The top is not. You have to get the top precise. And as you see here in a minute, I have to pull it back off and line it back up because it was almost too short, and I had to make sure I had it covered all the way across the top. These stickers stuck really well, but as you can see right there, it was too short. So I lifted it back up. Got my big fingers in the way. Sorry about that. I wear a size 17 ring, so yeah, I got big fingers. There we go. It looks a lot better. And the back is lined up with the top. Now we got to line up the little piece on the cowl. I actually kind of like these stickers. They went on easy. They look really good. And unlike some decals where they may be too thin, You get them too thin and they just want to wrinkle up on you. These, they just laid right down. You don't have to put no microset on them. See right there, we just tuck that little flap underneath. And I think that looks pretty doggone good. Sweet. Okay, now we need to get this windshield in. And, well, first I guess we're going to color in the taillights with a red marker. I like to use the red marker. It's more forgiving than a paint pen, because if you mess up with a paint pen, then you gotta use a deactivating agent to get it off. This I can just wipe with some acetone and get it off. It still looks good. It just doesn't have that really bright finish that a paint pen would have. Besides, all the paint pens I ever use are always flat, and I wanted the tail lights to be kind of shiny. Now we're just using a regular black Sharpie here to color in the grill. And I like to use a Sharpie on the grill because it doesn't fill in all the details like paint does. Paint tends to fill in all the details, and if you look at the grill on this car, it actually has a badge on the front of it that would have been covered up by paint. And all the little grill marks for the slits and stuff would be filled in with paint. That looks good on some cars, but I like to see the details. Probably put another coat on the taillights later. Here you see we got a new windshield, the new windshield I got. Yep, we're putting another coat on now. If you remember what this car looked like at the beginning, just caked on with layer after layer of paint, this is such a great improvement. Now we're putting the motor in. I drilled and tapped it and just use a fresh screw. Holds it in place nice and tight. Do a little adjustment here so that it's straight. There you go. Man, that motor looks good all shined up. Okay, now we're going to put the interior in. And it didn't want to line up for some reason. It came out of this car, so I don't know what the problem was. But it eventually lined up. I think the windshield not fitting right, as you see here, caused it not to want to fit properly. That's why I had to glue the windshield in. Just a little dab of super glue on the top right there. It held it in place. Then we just stick the interior in. Make sure everything lines up and looks good. At least the best that it can be. Now we're going to put the base on. And I'm using 256 screws here. I know a lot of guys use the 172 screws, but I can't find them for some reason, so. And these are hard enough to get. Most of the screws I get end up coming from China. I buy them in packs of 50 or 100 from China off of Amazon. Sometimes you can get them in the States, but it'll take a month for you to get them if you get them. So that's why I buy them in bulk. I can get 50 or 100 for like $8, where they're like 20 for $22 on some of the other shops and on eBay. And the front wheels look a little big, but that's what it had on it. Man, this car looks good. Those white stripes standing out on top of that hood. You can't even tell that it had that huge gash in it. You still see where the spoiler on the back had a ding in it, but it looks better than it did. And there you go, the before and after. Man, that's a difference. If the base all shined up. She looks spectacular. Well, if you enjoyed this video, leave me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell and share with your friends. Y'all have a great day.